Okay, and we are live. Hello, everyone. Today we're doing some fun little fall baking stuff, and we're trying a couple new fun things if this tripod wants to cooperate. Let's see if that'll stay like that so you can see everything. Let's see. Got a big little shadow over here. Let me scrunch it down a little bit more. Okay, that should be good. Okay, so we're going to start. I have a piece of parchment paper down. I don't like to roll stuff out on the actual counter. Just, I guess, out of habit from, I don't know, as a kid. So we're just going to sprinkle some flour. Hello, thank you for joining. We don't want to be too generous with our flour, but enough so that it's not going to stick. So today I am working with some pie dough that I just made last night, and this is what it looks like before we roll it out. I actually did like 8 pie doughs last night to get ready for some of our fall baking stuff for holidays and all that kind of stuff. It's great in the freezer, and it's easy enough to prep ahead of time, and you can pull it out and it's fresh pie dough. And I was gonna do puff pastry today, but I actually realized that I unfortunately have only the shells, not the sheets, and I thought that I had the sheets on hand. So we're using pie dough instead of puff pastry today, but it's still gonna work well. It's just not gonna be as puffy. It's still gonna be nice and flaky though. So I'm just lightly flouring everything. I'm just gonna start to roll this out. Turn this, make sure it's still nice and floured. Again, we don't want too much because we don't want too much more flour to go into this. We want it so that it doesn't stick to things. Okay, and turn it. I just finished school, so I'm glad I can get on. Oh, yay! It's always fun to end a school day. I'm just rolling this out until a little bit thinner than this. I don't want it to be too thick because with pie dough, it will definitely, puff up a little bit, not as much as puff pastry would. But I don't want to roll it out too thin either. I feel like that's something I still kind of troubleshoot a little bit is my ability to not roll things either too thick or too thin. I'm trying to roll it into kind of like a rectangle here. Okay, that's looking pretty good. I'm kind of liking that thickness. Just a little bit more. Okay, I think that should be good. Close up my flour and get it out of my way. I shouldn't need any more flour for this. Hello, thank you for joining. Okay, so I'm going to grab my knife and kind of do a rough cut. I think I'm going to do, I think like 8 rectangles is what we're shooting for. So I'm going to cut off this extra, and then I can just kind of ball it up and re-roll it later for more stuff. And then we kind of want it to be even over here. You're so happy. Are you having a great day? Are you happy to join? I hope that you're having a great day. I can't believe we're a week into November already. This is just, time is passing by crazy fast. Okay, I think I'm going to not cut all the way down on this one. Okay. So with these, I just kind of set them to the side, and I'm going to shake off the excess flour later, because like I said, when you, especially when you re-roll, you don't want to have too much extra flour that you're putting in there. So, the knife looks like the Galaxy. Yes, I actually got a knife set on Amazon, actually. My mom got it for my birthday like a couple years ago, because I love anything Galaxy, and this is a cosmic knife set that actually has like 7 different types of knives in there, and I use the chef's knife and the paring knife the most for sure. Oh, because you didn't miss the video? Yeah. Thanks for joining. Like I said, today we're doing some fun, just kind of fall baking stuff. I mentioned that I made this pie dough last night, and I'm really happy that I did, because I thought I had puff pastry sheets in the freezer, and I am out at the moment. Because I actually don't do a ton of stuff with puff pastry, even though it's absolutely delicious. But I decided to pivot, and we're doing some pie dough stuff instead. But we're going to still do kind of similar stuff to what I was planning, so we'll see how it goes. Okay, just like I said, some kind of trying to make it even-ish. Wow, it's beautiful. Thank you. Yeah, it's really cool. All the Galaxy knives, they're called cosmic knives if you go purchase them on Amazon, but they all have different designs on them. So they're all different color combinations, and it's a really fun set. Okay, and then about halfway down. That's even-ish. Okay. Hey, I finally made it. Yay, you made it! Thanks for joining today. Okay, let me grab my, I gotta get some cream cheese out of the fridge. Okay, so I sliced up about a quarter piece of a brick of cream cheese, so that's like, how many ounces is that? It's like 2 ounces, and so I sliced it. So inspiration is coming from a page called Salima's Kitchen. I had a request maybe like a couple months ago at this point, for making casitos, which is a Puerto Rican kind of like dessert or kind of breakfast type pastry, where it's puff pastry with some cream cheese in the center. It's very simple. They look really good, and like I said, that was like the main thing for today that I was gonna use puff pastry for. And so I'm unfortunately not able to make it the super traditional way, but I'm hoping the pie crust still works out. But I definitely will want to give it a try with the actual puff pastry. Sorry, I've been busy with school. Missed so many of your lives. No worries to both of you. School is very important, so don't worry about it. As always, you can catch the replay later. And yeah, I just appreciate when you're able to make it, but school is very important, so don't worry. So we're gonna grab a piece of cream cheese here, and I'm gonna stick it on some of my smaller ones here. I don't know how I wanna wrap this. I think she does it like at an angle, and then kind of like does like a little wrappy do like this. That looks fun. Let's go with that. And then, like I said, just kind of like pat off some of that flour so you don't have a ton of extra flour on here. Actually, I'm gonna move this up just a little bit. There's definitely extra dough, but she did have extra dough on the sides too. Okay. Looks goodish. So when she does it, she has, I think, maybe closer to squares possibly because it meets kind of more in the middle. And like I said, Salima's Kitchen has the Casitos recipe that this is inspired by. And I'm just kind of doing like a variation of it, if you will. So that's all we're going to do for this one. We're going to keep it nice and plain. I'm going to stick it up here on my tray. And let's do a couple plain ones. And then I also have some dulce de leche that I got out of the fridge that I think would be really delicious in here. I'm sitting outside with my Labrador Coda and she's chewing on her toy, breaking it. Oh no. Yeah, my dog did that a lot when she was younger. She destroyed so many plushie toys. At a certain point, I only bought like the big old like kind of chewy bone things like that are kind of a lot harder and harder to break. And after a certain point, like she just stopped destroying the like plushy ones, and now she loves those ones again. But yeah, for a while I was like, I am not buying you plushy stuff if you keep destroying it. I think I want to wrap this one differently. Let's go with something a little more fun. Maybe I can like do like a little galette style thing here. That's not completely covered. It's a lot of pie dough right there, but just kind of trying some fun. That's what's really cool about like pie dough and puff pastry especially, is you can do a lot of fun different shapes with it and kind of see what happens with it. I'm trying to press it down so it'll stay together. I'm going to put that on our tray. And then let me grab out the dulce de leche. Because I think that if I pipe this on top of the cream cheese, it could easily like bubble out. That might happen anyway, but I've never actually baked with dulce de leche, so we'll see how this goes. I don't have school, so I think I'm the oldest here. Oh, you're 21. I'm the oldest one here. All of you are so much younger. Oh my gosh. Are in college. You're graduating in spring. Yay. And you have a 4.0. That's awesome. Congratulations. Okay, we're going to pipe. I think I'm going to do kind of similar shapes, if you will. So the ones that I just did. But I'm going to have some dulce de leche on the bottom here. So let's go with... I think I want to use this corner one over here. Let's kind of do... like that. And then we're going to put down our cream cheese. Okay, and then let's try to... This one has that weird corner, but we're just going to roll with it. Kind of... Like I said, the dulce de leche might totally just ooze out of this thing, but like I said, I've never baked with it before, so I'm very curious to see if it behaves the same as when I've done my caramel. Okay, just trying to kind of cover that up a little bit more up there. And that's our basic shape I'm going for. And let's do another... Keep rinsing my hands off because I don't want to touch the dulce de leche bag after I've touched the flour. Okay, let's do, I guess, a similar shape to our other one as well. So we're gonna do right in the middle here. We're gonna place our cream cheese down. And then we're going to kind of do that wrap like we did before. Yeah, stuck just a tinge. And kind of like a little present on the end. Okay, so as I mentioned already, this is not the traditional way to make the quesitos, and I've never made them before, but I had a suggestion in one of my lives, and then once I looked them up, I was like, these look fantastic, and I've been wanting to make them, and it's finally cold enough to actually bake on a live. So I was very excited, and then I was very disappointed that I didn't have the puff pastry, but I think pie dough is still gonna work out really nicely. Okay, and then for our other ones, I have an apple here that I need to peel and cut really quick. And I'm not really sure how I want to cut them exactly, but oh, we have stuff to check up in the chat. I want to go to college to be a physical therapist assistant. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. I love the conversation going on right now in the chat. Okay, so I have a nice Granny Smith apple, which I love specifically for baking in terms of eating. Honeycrisp has my heart because it's just the perfect, like, sweet, crisp apple. But I love Granny Smith because it has that nice kind of tart apple flavor that helps to balance out sweets. So I'm just gonna peel it over the sink really quick so it's not as messy. And usually when I do anything with like pie dough or puff pastry, when it comes to like apple stuff, I usually have my cooked apple filling. So this will be interesting to try out a non-cooked apple filling. Okay, so I have it all peeled and everything, and then I'm just gonna use this plate that I used for this one. Basically putting French to the chat. That's awesome. They look great. Thank you. Okay, so we have our pie stuff here, but I want to cut this apple. And I thought, ooh, I wanted to roll away. Okay. Actually, I'm gonna grab a bigger plate because this is way too small. Okay, so I was originally thinking about trying a couple different things, but I think I just want to cut it so that it's nice and like thinly sliced is I'm thinking what I'm gonna go for here. And there's this one knife that I like to use for, it's this like small serrated knife that I just feel like cuts the apples really nicely. And so, whew. I'm gonna cut it in some chunks here. Not right now, Livy. As soon as my dog hears apple being cut, she's like, I get some too. Okay, I'm gonna cut off these little excess bits. I got all those little seeds out of there. Okay, I'm gonna cut this. Ooh, sorry, my hand's in the way. I can't grip it any other way. And then I just like to cut those seeds away. Lily, you can have some later, lovey. You're so good, but you're kind of in my way. She's literally sitting on like the little kitchen mat right next to me right now because she's like, I want apple too. Okay, so we got our apples, and I'm gonna try and cut them like super duper thin so that they'll cook really nicely in there, but I'm trying to make sure that I don't cut myself in the process because that would be bad. That's nice and thin. That's pretty good. I'm kind of holding up on the sides, not towards the bottom where it's more likely that I might get cut. So please, if you're cutting apples like this, be very, very careful. Or you could cut apples thinly on like a mandolin. That would work too. But these are pretty good for being hand cut really quick. I'm gonna cut a few more here. Okay, not too shabby. Please be careful. I am, thank you. Do you know what you need to do videos like this, but for cakes because I'm so bad at making cakes? Oh, so do you want me to do a cake on a live? I could definitely do that sometime, especially with Christmas coming up. That would be super fun. What kind of questions do you have for making cakes? Because maybe I could make some specific shorts videos, but I could also for sure do a live where you can ask your questions live. Let me know because I'm always wanting to get your ideas of what you'd like to see. I think I'm gonna cut a little bit extra apple. Oh my gosh, Lil. I don't know if you can hear her breathing next to me, but she's being very obnoxious about it. She does this like really loud breathing thing to like get your attention when she wants what you're eating. So that's what's going on right now, if you can hear that. Almost. There we go. Okay, so I'm just gonna cut, I did half of the apple all right here on this plate, so I'm just gonna finish cutting what we got. Being very careful in the process. Okay. Okay, almost done cutting our apple. I never like to cut it too far ahead of when I'm going to be using it for either baking or cooking or eating, obviously, because unless you add some acid, then it's going to start to do that, like, turn brown really quick thing. So there is our apple. Let's bring this back over. And I think I'm going to do... I think I'm gonna do 2 individual ones, and then we're gonna make like a Pop-Tart. You're making me want to buy an apple pie from Walmart. All good vibes, none bad. Okay, so let's do... We could do some plain. I'm gonna grab some cinnamon and kind of sprinkle it a little bit over the top here. Because I mean, apple and cinnamon, how can you go wrong? And we're gonna see how this turns out. Okay, so let's go on this pastry right here. Do I want to sprinkle the cinnamon first? Actually, how do I even want to assemble this? I've seen the whole assembly like upside down thing with puff pastry. Maybe I'm gonna try that. Let's go with that. That sounds like a fabulous idea. Okay. So maybe in a sense I can eat it in one sitting. Oh my gosh, don't, you're gonna get a stomachache if you do that. Please be careful. Let's grab our dulce de leche and we're going to pipe it onto this one. And we're gonna make our Pop-Tart type thing right now. And I have a tendency to overfill things because I love, like, the filling is, of course, where you get the pow of flavor. So I'm trying not to do that too much. We want to leave a nice section that doesn't have anything on it. I'm gonna get a fork out here. And then we're gonna lay some apples on top of this. I can't add too much more. I'm gonna cut these ones up in half-ish, or maybe like a, not quite a half, not quite a third, to fill in the bottom here. That looks like that. Never made one of these before, but I've been wanting to experiment with some Pop-Tart type stuff, so this is cool. There's not too much extra flour on that one, so we're just gonna lay this on top. And then we're going to try to kind of like match it up and press it down. This would be so cute to make like some Christmas Pop-Tarts. I've started to try to like get on my Christmas content a lot earlier than I usually do. So I have like, I know, watching Christmas movies and like all the stuff to get in the mood. So I love both the fall and holiday season flavors. Okay, so we're pushing down, kind of getting it to stick a little bit. But then we want to go in and use a fork. Oh, we have some stuff to catch up in the chat. Chocolate cake or a carrot cake would be great, or any cake. So are you asking about the baking or decorating of it? I'm kind of curious about the specifics, because of course we could do either one. Chocolate's your favorite? Yeah, chocolate's always a good one. Okay, so we're gonna take our fork. I have a little bit of extra flour that I'm just kind of lightly dipping my fork in, so you can kind of see there's a little bit on there, just a little bit, because I don't want it to stick too much to this. So we're going to press down. Actually, I just realized I forgot our egg wash, which will help to get this to stick properly. Okay, so we got an egg here, and I'm gonna try the one from Selena's Kitchen that she does. So we have an egg, we have a tablespoon of water, and we also, if I can wrap around here, teaspoon of sugar. I'll grab a different fork for mixing. Give that a nice mix so that everything is combined. And we'll use this for all of our pastry that we're doing. Okay, that looks pretty good to me. So I'm gonna grab a pastry brush. Where'd you go? There you are. Okay. So I'm going to kind of lift up this pastry here. Just flip it back right there. And I'm going to add I sometimes forget that when I'm doing the stuff for other videos too. But we want to add our egg wash along this little border here. And that's going to help the stuff to stick together too, as well as the crimping that we're going to do on the sides. Tuck that down a little bit so there's a little bit more space up here. That should be good. I can't even talk today. That should be good. We don't need a ton. I'm going to set my egg wash to the side because, like I said, we'll be using that in just a little bit. And we're going to stick our dough right back on top here and line it back up. And kind of press down like we did before. Okay, taking our fork We're gonna press and see that sticks a lot better. We're just gonna go all the way around to seal in our stuff. And like I said, I haven't baked with dulce de leche, so I'm kind of curious to see if it's going to come out of the pastry like usually my homemade caramel does, unless I thicken it up a lot. Keep needing to go back to the flour to make sure it doesn't stick. And there we go. And with these, sometimes I like to poke little holes on the top. I think I might want to do that just with the knife that I use to cut, because we want to kind of vent it a little bit, or else it's going to get like puffy and possibly like pop in a weird way. So this is just to kind of control that a little bit, because we could definitely, this is our homemade Pop-Tart, so we could add like a frosting over the top of it to cover up those little holes. But that's just to let, especially like the apple cooking, we want to let it, that kind of steam, the steam escape from it. So let's move some stuff around so I can bring my tray down. We can finish this off. You have to go play a one-on-one basketball game with your brother. Oh, good luck. That sounds fun. You're definitely gonna lose. No, you can do it. I'm moving all my stuff around so we can get to these. Condense here. Bring it this way so we can bring our tray down. Okay, I think that's enough for, let's move this one over here so that we can see in the middle here a little bit better. So if you've seen those puff pastry videos that were popular, like, I don't even know, online stuff moves so weird. It was either like a few months ago or like a year ago at this point. It's either one or the other. But people would put like stuff down on parchment paper and then do like basically build a reverse kind of like tart and like flip it upside down, and they'd have like a savory or a sweet one. So I'm gonna give that a try, but I need to do just a little bit of spray. I think I'm gonna put them in the middle here. Somewhere like that. That looks decent. And we're gonna lay down our apples. And because we're not closing it up, I can actually be a little bit more generous with this. And I'm actually gonna put them like this so that there's even more apple. Like quite a bit of our apple that we cut can fit on these. Okay, I think that's about the size of the pie dough. I was gonna say puff pastry. And we can basically just use the rest of our apple to make our two things here. Which, like I said, this is all total experimentation, so we're just having some fun. Okay, and then I want to sprinkle a little bit of cinnamon. I think I'm going to keep one of them plain and then do the other one with some of the dulce de leche. So let's do you with the cinnamon. I don't want too much. Just a little bit more. think that's good. And then for the other one, we're gonna pipe on some of our dulce de leche in the center. I'm not gonna go all across because I know for sure that that's gonna like leak out everywhere. Okay. And then let's put our pie dough on. And we're just gonna lay it right on top like this and kind of press it down. I think sometimes they would make sure that it goes over the sides, but I'm just gonna do it this way. Just kind of pressing that down, hoping that it's gonna stick. And then we're gonna do the same thing with this one, but with this one I do wanna make sure that we kind of press it down enough to kind of wrap that dulce de leche a little bit better. Okay, gorgeous. That looks good to me. And things are decently spread out on here, so we can do our egg wash and then we're going to pop it in the oven. Oh, sort of like a Pop-Tart. Yes, that's exactly what it is. Okay, so we're taking our egg wash again with our pastry brush, and we're gonna brush it over the top of all of these so that the pastry gets nice and brown. And I've never tried an egg wash with water. I usually use like milk or something, so this will be interesting to try. Okay, and then I have the oven at 350 because that was the temperature for the puff pastry. So I'm just gonna roll with that and see how we do. They want to cover our quesitos that we made, or kind of I'm gonna call them mock quesitos because they don't have the puff pastry. Okay, so just on all of our exposed pie dough is what we're doing here. And we would do the same thing if we were doing our puff pastry. I'm curious, what is your favorite fall flavor? Do you prefer apple? Do you prefer pumpkin? Or a different kind of flavor of the season? I kind of always like coming up with ideas for both apple and pumpkin because they're just both really awesome fall flavors in general. Okay, I think we look good with our egg wash here. Looks like we're ready for the oven, and I'm gonna pop these in there. I think I'm gonna go with like, yeah, I'm gonna say like 10 to 15 minutes to start, and then we can see if we need to take a couple of like the smaller ones off and then finish making the rest. But that seems like a decent timing in my head for it. I got 12 on the timer, but looks real good. Thank you. Yes, how do you see this a lot on Instagram? Wait, so I'm curious, do you see baking stuff on Instagram, or what are you asking? Then you say apple is my favorite, but pumpkin is making a comeback for sure. Yeah, I think if I had to choose between the two, I think I would go with apple as well because there's just so many things that you can do with it. It's like super versatile, and it can either be like very subtle or, the main flavor profile. Plus, my mom always makes for Christmas she makes a sour cream apple pie, which sounds really weird, but it's really good because it's not like a weird sourness. It's like something to help, balance out by adding some acidity and everything. Um, so yeah, that's always one of my favorites because it has like that nice crumb topping to it, and then I drizzle some of my caramel on top of it, and it's so good. I'm gonna stick the apple that I have in the fridge just in a baggie to make sure it doesn't brown too much, and then as long as I get to it within like by the end of the day, I think it won't be too brown because the fridge is going to help to slow that process. So I don't know if you guys want to stay on while the stuff is baking. I can just post pictures later because like I said, it might be 10 to 15 minutes, it might be 20 minutes. So yeah, I'm not sure if we want to stay on. What do you guys think? Also next week, we got to figure out what we're doing for our live next week. We should be back to regular schedule of Friday, and I'm thinking Thanksgiving week we'll probably are still going to have one, but that one's for sure going to be moved to probably Tuesday. I think that's what I did last year. I did like a what was that live? It was like a decoration for one of the Thanksgiving desserts that I was helping with. So I love your counter. It's so pretty. Oh, thank you so much. My mom picked out this counter. She loves purple. So she found I think like one of the only granite countertops with little spots of purple in it. So she was very, very proud of this one. Since you look like, I can't talk. Since you said it looks like Pop-Tarts, I always wondered how Pop-Tarts were made. Yeah, it's super, super easy. I mean, of course, they have their whole assembly line machine stuff, but yeah, it's really just pretty much pie dough with some type of filling. You don't want to overfill it because that makes it easy to kind of leak out when it's baking. But yeah, super duper easy. And then you can whip up an icing with just some powdered sugar and like a little bit of milk or something like that to ensure that it's going to kind of crust over. But it's you can also add sprinkles. It's pretty easy overall. I'm going to dust off this stuff and I'm going to stick into a container so that I can save it for later. Because like I said, I can re-roll this stuff, but I don't want this extra flour on it. I kind of want to pat that dry, or if you have a pastry brush, kind of like the one I was using for the egg wash, is really great for removing extra flour, but you could also, as long as your hands are nice and clean, you can just brush it off. Okay. All right, and then before I put it in the fridge, I like just kind of like press it into a ball, and then I can re-roll this and make something else with it. It definitely doesn't have as like flaky of a texture as the original one that was rolled out, but it still works for making some stuff, so you don't have to waste it. Okay, so does anybody have any questions, anything that they'd like to suggest for future lives that you'd like to see? All that kind of fun stuff. I'm fine with saying pics due to time management, but you choose. Yeah, I'm thinking I don't want to keep you guys on for like 20 minutes. So I think I am going to end the live. But before we do that, like I said, if you have any questions, any other suggestions, I don't know if Sam, if you popped it in the chat of if you'd like to see whipping up a cake recipe, or if you want to see like the decorating side of cake stuff. So let me know which one it is, because I could definitely do that. Like I said, if you guys would like to see a Christmas cake decorated like all together, it takes a while to decorate a cake on a live, but we could definitely do something like that. That would be really fun to decorate a cake on live, especially for the holiday season. So that would be a fun one to do. But if you don't want to pop in the chat, you could always pop it into the replay later to let me know. And of course, whenever the replay goes up or anything like that, feel free to suggest things that you guys want to see for lives coming up, especially for like the holiday season. I do want to get an actual like schedule put out once I figure out all the live stuff. It kind of seems like you guys really like hot chocolate bombs, and especially like the pretzel sticks or pretzel rods that I kind of decorate for the different holidays. So I think that you think the cake would be cool. Okay, awesome. That might be, maybe I'll do that around the first part of December, as a fun holiday cake. But I think, yeah, hot chocolate bombs, pretzel treat stuff seems to be pretty popular for our lives. So those are for sure going to be in the mix. But let me know if you guys want to see anything else. And besides that, I'm not seeing any other questions in the chat. So I think we're going to hop off today. Like I said, check the pictures that I'll post later today in the community tab, as well as, of course, the cover image for this once I have pictures of the items when they're done baking will be up on here as well. So that is it for today. Thank you guys so much for joining, and I can't wait to see how they turn out and to share the results with you guys. I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your day and your week, and I will for sure see you next week on live. Of course, shorts every day and tutorials are coming out very, very soon, so keep an eye out for those. Besides that, I will see you guys very soon. Have a great day. Bye.